Well, at least you work. At least you and the Corvette work. The two cars that I bought for pleasure work. The cars that I bought to support the Ford side of things don't work. And of course, because I have Foxbody issues, the door handle on the other side broke. So hits just keep on coming. One, two. Let's see how many times it takes for it to turn over to start. Oh, that's what I get for talking shit. 3 pumps. Just don't scratch the Corvette, Alex. That'll just, you know, I'll sell everything. Alrighty, well, okay, back in the garage with the Foxbody. That the less I do to this car, the better it treats me. So it's here today because I'm gonna see what's going on underneath, because it has an oil leak, and I'm about to, let's just say, raise cylinder pressure, and potentially, you know, whatever is causing the leak can be multiplied by what I'm about to do to this car. So I suspect it's a rear main seal, which is a big job. It's a very big job. So I'm gonna get underneath it, try to identify it. If it's a rear main seal, transmission, clutch, everything has to come out, which is a good sized job. So I'm gonna try to get it up as high in the air as possible to diagnose today. But then I'm gonna show you why I'm gonna take care of the oil leak issue. Obviously, you don't wanna go to the track leaking oil anyway. If you're on the prep and you put oil down, they're constantly having to mop little dots here and there. I don't wanna be that guy that puts oil down on the track, even if it's a drop or two. But because I'm about to do something to, let's say, make more power, I'm gonna go ahead, get underneath it, and diagnose what's happening. So, what am I gonna do so that this thing makes more power? Check it out. You guys know what this is, right? Like, you're pretty obvious what this is, right? You guys remember David Vassar? Let me remind you who David Vassar is.
I am sick of y'all shit. I'm gonna tell you right now, you done fucked up. You done fucked up. All right? So you guys can go fuck yourself. I'm tired of being nice.
So obviously I like him, and I wanted to support his products. And no, I did not ask for anything for free. I bought a nitrous kit from Nitrous Outlet. I reached out to him on Facebook, and we had a great conversation. After he got back from PRI, he got back to me, said, hey, let's take care of you. Got me with his salesperson. We worked out what I needed for the kit, which is very minimal. I didn't want all the fancy doohickeys because it's gonna be basically a very manually operated nitrous system, basically wide open throttle switch, and it's up to me when it comes on or off, depending on where my foot is and what RPM I am at that point. But I do have a window switch just in case I do want to trigger it off of RPM. So let's unbox this guy, show you what's in the kit, then we'll see what's going on with the oil leak, and we'll wrap it up. Alrighty, let's unbox it, do it live. See if I can get these pants down. You guys love commenting on my legs. I mean, they're pretty good. So, great, that's gonna give me a flat tire. Oh, wow, okay. So, obviously, we're gonna probably open this up, and this is probably gonna be the controller. This is the WinMax dual channel controller. Okay, we got the blow down tube and a shirt. Very nice of them to get me a blow down tube and a shirt. So here's the shirt, extra large. Pretty much the basics of the kit, which is all the wiring, the triggering mechanism, hardware, all that stuff in here. So line, hardware, jets, fuel, and nitrous jetting switch. This looks like a wide open throttle switch, like a bracket that goes on your carburetor. This right here looks like a watt switch, which is, I'm more than likely going to be using that instead of a button or anything like that. Blowdown tube. What's a blowdown tube? Well, if your nitrous system or your nitrous bottle over pressurizes, then this can be vented outside of the car. So let's say it's in the trunk, put this blowdown tube in, and if it reaches over, I think 3,000 psi or a couple of thousand psi, this it'll vent through this on the bottom. You have to run that through the bottom of the car. Obviously, we have ourselves a nitrous bottle. Can't have nitrous without a bottle, so we have a nitrous outlet bottle. Very nice, very nice. What else we got? This is a, I don't know what this is. This is a, I don't know what this is. That's interesting. If you guys can identify what this is, let me know. It says pressure, so I'm sure this is the gauge maybe, or it goes on the nitrous bottle itself for pressure reading. No, I don't know. So you guys will have to tell me what this is, because I don't know. So obviously the carb plate, solenoids, lines, everything needed to put it on under the hood. It'll be interesting putting this on. I'll have to, obviously I'm not the best at wiring stuff, but obviously mechanically, hardware wise, it can't be all that difficult. And one more thing. What is this? This looks like a purge kit. Yep. So this is the purge kit. You want to purge the air out of the nitrous system. So you set this guy up, purge it either out of the front, top, whatever you want to do. So this is the purge kit. So right here, what we have is a complete nitrous outlet kit up to, I think, I forget the jetting size, but I'm not looking to run over 200, to be honest with you. I'm looking to run tops 200. So I'll start with 100, work my way up to 150. And if I want to get, I don't know, a bonsai pass in, I'll go ahead and put a 200 shot in it. But here you go. This is what it pretty much looks like. So now let's get into the Fox, see what's going on with the oil leak, try to identify it before we add some cylinder pressure with some good old-fashioned nitrous. All right, for those of you wondering what's done to the Foxbody's suspension, looks like someone tried to spray paint the control arms, and I think these are 9010s, and these are Edelbrock Edelbrock springs, which obviously one day, once I get a proper K-member, this is a stock K-member still, I will definitely lose, about 30 pounds in the front and some coilovers here with strange single adjustables. I think this will be good. Looks like somebody welded some kind of motor mount situation, which I'm not even using. I just kind of let it dangle there. But this is basically like a motor mount, auxiliary motor mount situation, whatever. So now after looking at this leak, it could be two things. It could be rear main seal or the oil pan gasket. Now, for those of you that are on the chat, let's talk about it. Boy, that looks like an oil pan gasket to me, honestly, huh? Yeah, it looks to be oil pan gasket related, because if it was the rear main seal, boy, chicken or the egg, right? It's like, if it was the rear main, it's dripping. So if it's the rear main seal, would it leak here? Or would it leak from the inside of the bell housing? Obviously we have oil, fresh wet oil on the back of the pan. So then you go, okay, the likelihood of it being the rear main seal, it's high, and the likelihood of it being an oil pan gasket is also high. Now remember, you can't just do an oil pan gasket on this thing. This thing doesn't necessarily just slide off. You're talking potentially jack the motor up to give you enough clearance, which isn't terrible. You undo the motor mounts. Where are they? You undo the motor mounts right there, and then do that. Honestly, there's a lot that this car needs, namely it needs power steering because the rack is leaking, so it literally has no power steering fluid in it right now, and it's just manual steering. So that's how I drove it down the track, because I didn't care. Also, it needs this leak fix because I don't want to just constantly have oil under the car. So I could do a couple of things. Honestly, I don't have the equipment here to do it properly, meaning a lift, space, blah, 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 blah. I could have it done elsewhere. But, you know, this is a good-sized leak that has to be taken care of, and definitely going to be reaching out to Thunder Autosports again to see if they're willing to take... I know this is a mess, and I know Thunder probably doesn't want anything to do with this, but to be honest, if it's a rear main seal, I can do it. But boy, that's a long time, ton of work. And if it's an oil pan gasket, I need the room, the time, the facilities to do so. But the fact that it's leaking here, boy, I'm aiming towards an oil pan gasket more so than a rear main seal. But you know what? That's why I would probably send it to them to do, because it's just a lot of time and room, and I don't have either. So we'll see. But before I pressurize the crankcase with a nitrous kit, you know, I'm going to be shoving about another 150 horse through it. This guy will probably need to get taken care of, because I don't want to be that guy at the track just dripping oil all over the place. So yeah, just wanted to kind of get underneath here real quick, give you a quick little video showing you what the plans are for the Fox. The Fox has run 10.7, so that's cool. So, you know, if I can get the Fox, you know, a little quicker NA, that'd be cool. So now the future plans also is to check some stuff in the rear end. So I'm going to show you what's going on right now in the rear of the car and what my plans are going forward. Okay, under the Fox. Now, if you guys see the fitment of the wheel on this car, you know, it's, you know, you probably don't love that it sticks out a little bit. Well, I do have a couple of spacers in here, and this is why I have a couple of spacers in here. That coilover, and look at how close the coilover is to the tire. It's extremely close, right? So what I'm going to do is eventually take that coilover off, get a Viking double adjustable, bring the spring back to its home, which is here. See, the spring usually lands on that perch right there, and right now, because the previous owner had like a set of 18-inch wheels, well, the coilover is nice and adjustable. It's easy to get to, but honestly, this is a drag car. So I'm just gonna put the spring right back here where it belongs, and see how it's inside of the tub. So the spring being moved back to its home base is gonna be better off for me than this situation, and it will give me an extra, I don't know, inch or so of clearance, or not even an inch, maybe a half inch. But then you're going to say, oh, you can bring the tire in. Well, not really, because, you know, the tire is right up against the tub, so I don't want to go in too close. Now, good old-fashioned old Foxbody days is you take a BFH and you beat the inside of the tub to make a tire fit with a 15 by 10 wheel with a 6.5-inch back spacing, but that is if you have a bone stock width rear end. And the problem is, I think this is a, you know, aftermarket situation. Now, the more I look, the happier I am with this situation. Look, it's got C-clip eliminators, meaning it does not have C-clips, so it has a bearing on the end retaining the axle. So if the axle was to break, it will not spit out tire. So this is a very well-built differential or rear end, in my opinion. Obviously, it's also going to need an anti-roll bar. So the anti-roll bar is going to be situated above the exhaust up there with a couple of links coming down and hitting it. I want to maintain the tailpipes. So I might have to run tailpipes under the rear end, because if an anti-roll bar goes in, this guy disappears. The regular roll bar just gets eliminated. And yes, it needs a crazy power wash underneath. But I didn't want to do any extra work to this car. What the fuck? Is that a zip tie? That's that's a zip tie. Oh my God. I'm going to put a hole. Oh my God. This thing needs to get gone through. Wow, Holly Blue, zip tie. Oh, bro, I didn't build this, okay? I didn't build this. Oh my God, it's a zip tie. Anyway, it's got a good diff cover. It's gonna get an anti-roll bar. It's probably gonna get new lines because these are dry rotted. So it needs a decent amount of work. So I'm gonna power wash everything underneath here. I'm gonna bring the spring back to its home base, which is this perch. I'm gonna get an anti-roll bar, and the anti-roll bar will take care of any swaying. Then we go back out to the track NA and see if we can consistently launch the car at about, 5,000 RPMs and cut like a low 1.5, and the car behind. I can't believe I just spotted that. Let me see what else is going on over here. Yeah. Okay, Alex. It's time to put a couple of hose clamps on this guy because Billy Bob went a little ham on this situation. So I'm definitely going to put some hose clamps on there. I am going to this thing was sitting in the field, so I bought that power washer, so I might just power wash it one day. But just wanted to give you guys a bit of a update on what the plan is for this Foxbody. Anti-roll bar. Okay, power wash. Anti-roll bar. Bring the springs back to their perch, which is there, so that we can have a little more clearance on the tire and the tub, which is up here. That's already hitting, so I'm gonna have to beat it in with a hammer or whatever, and go from there. Trying to do my best to clean everything up. But yeah, this turd went 10.7, so you can't really blame me for wanting to make it a little tighter. Anti-roll bar springs, and see if we can run a little quicker NA, fix the oil leak before we do anything else with nitrous. Okay, so there you have it. So the plan is to get the rear end situated on this car, fix the oil leak, and try to get back out there. And if I can get an anti-roll bar in there, get some springs to be in their stock perch, and get a little more clearance out there, and I'm not dripping oil on the track, I'll try to get back out there NA just to see if we can be more consistent with the 60-foot, launch a little higher, maybe install a two-step just so I can just leave on the wood and let it go. But it seems to be doing pretty good, cutting into 1.5s and running into the 1070s. I think it has a 1050 in it. If I can get the 60-foot a little more consistent, then shove a 150 shot on it. The dyno might go away, so I might be doing street hits to dial everything in with air fuel. With the nitrous kit, third gear pulls should do plenty on this car. Then we go back out to the track after messing with timing and fueling and making sure that everything is happy, and see if we can get into the 9s as it sits. Just like I said, I'm not going to change anything up. With the TKO 500, it's probably not going to like to shift above 6,000 RPM. So if we can get comfortably in the 9s with a 150 shot, this current setup, without dripping oil all over the place and everything stays alive, we'll shove a C4 in it. I know you guys might not want to hear that, but I have 2 other manual cars that I can give you guys manual content with. But that doesn't mean the C4 has to stay forever. I can always take it out, put a TKX back in it, and go have some fun. All right, guys, thanks for listening for a little bit. And this is why I own many vehicles. If one is down, I basically have a content factory to get you guys up to date on what's happening on my end of things. Have a good rest of your day. Have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year. I'll see you guys later.